When is the last time you watched cable television? I mean, actually sat down, looked through the programming, checked the schedule to see what time your program was going to come on, and then sat down and watched it. For a lot of you guys viewing this video, it's probably hard to remember, and to be frank with you, it's hard for me to remember too, because the internet and companies like Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, and YouTube have made it so easy for me to access the content that I want to watch when I want to watch it. Thanks to the freedoms that I have had on the internet, I have basically left cable television behind me. I was obsessed with Adult Swim back in the early 2000s. I watched programs like FLCL, Ghost in the Shell, and in particular Inuyasha. But I had no one personally that I could talk to about these programs. So I did a little bit of researching on the internet, and I found this independent message board completely devoted to Inuyasha. There I met people like me across the country, across the world, who are also really, really into this show. Fast forward to my teenage years, and I did the same thing with One Piece. I found an independent message board, and I met people there in the late 2000s, early 2010s that are still my friends today. I still keep in contact with them. And if I didn't have that freedom, that access to the internet to look into those independent message boards, I would have never had that experience. I would have had to basically keep it to myself all those years. Of course, you look at today, I have an independent YouTube channel where I'm able to express my love and passion for manga, anime, for in particular Sailor Moon. And once again, it's thanks to free speech. It's thanks to the fact that I am able to access the internet and upload my content to it. Now, all of this that I've been talking about is part of a concept called net neutrality. And net neutrality is exactly what it sounds like. It is neutrality on the internet. Basically, any content, be it a website, application, whatever it is that is uploaded to the internet, can be freely accessed by anyone who has access to the internet, regardless of who provides it to them. Comcast, Verizon, etc. So theoretically, if a friend and I were using two different internet service providers, say I was using Comcast and they were using Verizon, and we both tried to access the same website at the same speeds, we would both receive that website at the same time. Now, unfortunately, if we don't do something, things might change. Currently, cable companies like Comcast and Verizon are lobbying the FCC to try to end net neutrality. And this could have devastating consequences. If you think about this on frustrating terms, for example, they could turn the internet into what cable is today. So they could say, oh, you want access to the internet? Well, you can have our social media package, which will give you Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, etc. And those websites would go really fast for you, but cute independent social media websites, well, they're going to get throttled. You're going to have a really tough time accessing those websites. They're going to load 4 times as slow as something like Facebook. You think about gamers as well. I'm a gamer. I play games like Destiny, like Rocket League, and, say the internet provider that I want to use isn't fond of those games or isn't fond of, say, I don't know, Sony, the service, the PlayStation Network service that I use. They could throttle that service. My games themselves could suffer because of a lack of net neutrality, because those games are connected to the internet. And then you think about the worst thing that could happen. Back in November 2015, I had put up a video called The Top 5 Reasons You Shouldn't Watch Sailor Moon Crystal as your introduction to Sailor Moon. And the day before that show, Sailor Moon Crystal, aired on Hulu, that video was targeted, was taken down, and my channel, at least at the time, was permanently terminated. Looking back at that time, it is very clear that I was censored in some way. My video was absolutely within fair use. What I did was not illegal in any sense of the means, even by YouTube standards, and I was censored for it. It sucked really hard, but in the end, it was just a Sailor Moon Crystal review. I love that show. I love anime. I love manga, but it was just a review about entertainment. Think about the consequences that, a lack of net neutrality could have on something like, say, I was ethically against Comcast and say I made a website that was like, I hate Comcast.com or Comcast is doing a bad thing.com. And Comcast said, well, they are being critical against us. We're just going to make it so that Comcast users cannot access that website. They would be able to do that with a lack of net neutrality. Internet providers would be able to censor whatever website they wanted for whatever reason. Of course, being censored myself, free speech means a lot to me. It really does. But the end of net neutrality could have devastating consequences on real world issues. You know, just recently, China has banned LGBT content from being accessed on the internet in their country. You know, I pray that something as devastating as that would never happen in the USA or anywhere else in the world, but the end of net neutrality could certainly guarantee something like that. So please join us at battleforthenet.com. Please help us in this fight to save net neutrality. We need you. We have stopped SOPA. We have stopped the TPP. We can stop this as well. We just need your help. Until next time, this is CJ, signing off.